What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cicely Renee, aka the Bougie Black Blogger, and we're back with another video. This is kind of like maybe an inspirational video. We're gonna be tapping into the top craziest risk that I've taken and how I feel about all of those, right? And just give you some like updates of what happened afterwards, all right? So if you have been contemplating taking risk and stepping out in faith, you know, maybe this video is for you to encourage you to do so. Or maybe it's like, don't do it, go ahead and stay in your comfort zone, whatever floats your boat. But I'm for risk taking, and you're gonna find out now. So when I think about risk taking, I think about, you know, my safety, my well-being, finances, my, you know, basic needs, where I'm gonna stay, all of that, what I'm gonna eat. And I have this idea. So my risk taking is not just like, oh, wake up in the morning and just do something. It has been calculated. It has been thought about. And you outweigh the good with the bad and figure out what you want to do after that. But the reason why it's a risk is because you never really know what's going to happen on the other end, right? You just going to have to do it and see what happens. And so, you know, I'm all about seeing what I am capable of doing, what happens to me, my character, how I grow in these situations, and just really blowing my mind with, you know, how, you know, I grow, or how bad I do it, or how great I do it, you know, and I'm just like, wow, but I did it, right? But I did it. All right, so these risks are not in any particular order. I'm just gonna throw them out there and talk a little bit about them. So if you go ahead, grab a cup of tea or wine or whatever it may be, and let's get started. All right, the first one that I will consider a risk was moving to Miami with $300 in my bank account, no place to stay, and I was just going to do a volunteer job for a year, right? So I applied for this organization called City Year, and they called me within like 2 days, and they were like, well, they did my interview, and let's say my interview was on Wednesday. They called me on Friday, and then they were like, how quick can you get here? And I was like, give me about a week. He was like, can you get here Monday? And I was like, we will see. So crazy thing is, you know, I feel like when things kind of line up, then it's a good thing, right? So I go online and I find a really cheap one-way flight to Miami for over the weekend, just like that. That was when, you know, you could find good deals with flights. But here right now during 2022, flights are dumb, all right? And so I was like, okay, this flight is cheap. I grabbed my stuff, packed my things up, and I got there on Monday, and I think it was just 2 days before my birthday, so I didn't even get to celebrate my birthday with my family. I celebrated it with a whole bunch of strangers in Miami, though. In Miami. Yeah, yep. So that weekend I was looking for apartments, and you know, the person who recruited me took me looking for apartments, and we found this one. It was horrible, okay? It was nasty, and I would be in the bedroom, but there was only one bathroom, and the bathroom was in the bedroom, and these people looked like they were on coke, they were on some drugs, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not staying in here. And he was like, you're not staying here. And so I ended up just finding somewhere else to go. So I stayed with a few of the team leaders for a few nights, and then as I got acquainted with, you know, the peers that I would be working with over the next year, I found some girls, they needed one more roommate, and so I joined them. So it was 4 girls, and we stayed in 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom on Miami Beach, South Beach, you guys. It was amazing. It was crazy because we were working all day, every day, and we partied so hard in the evenings. It was so much fun. I built lasting relationships. Like, I'm still really close with about, not specifically my roommates, one of my roommates I'm really cool with still. But the people in the program, it was phenomenal. I made great relationships. And I ended up staying in Miami for 2 years. So, like, I started with $300 in my pocket. Then the next year, I ended up finding an apartment on my own. Like, I stayed by myself. And it was really cool. It was a really cute apartment. It was on Biscayne Boulevard. And it was, like, these little hotels that turned into little studios. So, it was really cute. I really liked it. So, that was one of the biggest risks that I've ever taken. The next biggest risk that I consider a risk was getting married. You guys, getting married was a huge risk. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know, how people change. People will always change, but like, is it gonna be a change for good or for bad? You guys, I got married and I gave up my name. I gave up my peace, my solitude, my solo-ness, right? I gave up so much to become one with a man, right? And I will let you know that marriage did not last. And so the marriage, it sucked. It sucked for me. I think it sucked for him because he's the one that wanted the divorce. So I was just like, okay, marriage is definitely a risk. And I just, if you're thinking about marriage, don't feel like you have to get married. Don't feel forced. Make sure that you are like going to counseling, that you are testing everything, like just making sure that this is the crazy that you can be with for a very long time. And so with that risk, I would say I took another risk based off of that, and I got divorced. And so I was like thinking about my well-being. I was like, where am I gonna stay? Like, I was staying with this man, and I was just like, thinking about all kinds of crazy stuff. I was like wondering if people would judge me because I left my marriage and all these things, and I started life over, you guys, and it was one of the most beautiful thing ever to start over in your own, like, and find yourself again, rediscover yourself, start a new story, create something that, I will tell you, I became my best person after that marriage, you guys. Like, the divorce really allowed me to tap into who I was as a young black woman in America, especially in Minneapolis. And so I will tell you, the next risk that I took, because of that, I was like, I want to start life over. I want to do something differently. And so I ended up packing my stuff up and driving to Dallas, Texas. And I was able to stay with a friend, my mom's friend. I call her aunt. And so I stayed with her for a few months while I found, a place to stay. Or not. First, I needed a job. So I went down there without a job. I had a few $1,000s in my bank account and a car. And I went down there and I was just like, well, I have a master's degree. I should get a job quickly. And, it took me about 3 months to find a job, which was understandable because I moved there at the end of December. So like Christmas, New Year, so people weren't really doing much when it came to, hiring during that season, right? So I just had to wait, but then I finally found a job, and it was a really cool job because let me tell you, that risk of just starting over and finding a cool job, I'm still working at that job. However, I didn't last long at that job. I think I stayed there for 9 months. And then I went into teaching, which was another risk, y'all. Y'all, teaching is not for the faint of heart. Like, I know it's my passion, my purpose, but I also know that I don't have to be in the classroom to fulfill that purpose. And so, yeah, so back to the other one. So I had this job for 9 months and it was amazing. Like, I enjoyed it, but I wanted to connect a little bit more. And so I ended up starting teaching, and I did that for 5 years. And then my next huge risk was quitting my job and opening a bookstore and becoming a full-time entrepreneur. Y'all. So that is what I'm going through right now, is being a full-time entrepreneur, and it is a challenge, y'all. I'm like, where am I gonna get this money? Like, I'm hustling, I'm grinding, I am like focused, and I will let you know that teaching definitely helped with, you know, my like go-getter attitude type thing. And so like we worked crazy. We had a bazillion jobs as a teacher, and so now I have a bazillion jobs as a full-time entrepreneur, and I am always like on the go, always moving. And I got that from teaching. I probably got that from like, I'm just that type of person. I like fast pace. But yes, and so now that I'm here, I am doing multiple things. I'm teaching online, I have the bookstore, I'm putting on events, I have my own personal website to sell my products, and just, you know, just a lot of things. And so I'm at this point where it's like, oh my gosh, what's next? What do I do next? And I'm just like, you know what? Just take it day by day. You know, I'm a believer in God, and I believe that He'll supply all my needs. And so I have, like, the past few months, I have been working on not being stressed out and not, you know, freaking out because, you know, the bank doesn't look like what I want to do. Like, I'm just like, yo, I want to put on these things, but my bank is like, no, I want to go traveling, but I can't because my bank account's like, no. But I feel like everything works out. And I want to go back to that first job that I got when I was here in Dallas. I have that as a part-time job now. So like, I did not burn my bridges. I built those relationships and, you know, kept those. And then so when I became this full-time entrepreneur, I was like, I need some money. I need some consistent income that's reliable, you know. And so I got a part-time job with that first job that I got when I first moved down here. And it's virtual, so I can be at the bookstore working my job as well. So I think everything works out for the good of them, you know. And so things are working out. I just need to, you know, keep pushing, taking it one day at a time. And, you know, it's beautiful. Like, I stopped doing my preschool class in the morning, and so I put a whole bunch of different classes out there. And at first I was like, nobody's signing up for my classes, but I've been getting emails saying people are signing up for my classes. So that makes my heart happy. And let me know what you guys think about taking huge risks. What are some of the risks that you've taken? What are some of the risks that you're like, no, I'm too scared to do this? And I'm sure I've done a lot more risks out there. I mean, living and going out in the public, you know, is a huge risk every day. You never know what's going to happen, but you still have to live. You have to, you know, do what you need to do to survive. And so what are some things that you're thinking about taking a risk for? Or, you know, let me know. I'm excited to hear this conversation. All right. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you were inspired to take some risks. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, peace.